To celebrate the release of Wrath of the Lich King Classic, Blizzard has asked us to bring one of the most iconic Warcraft villains to life. For me, Wrath was the first expansion I was a truly hardcore raider. And I made lifelong friends who I still talk to this day.
I had a massive traumatic brain injury, and Warcraft at the time was my escape. It was my window into the outside world, and it gave me something to look forward to every night. When you're in that state of recovery, that means a lot to you. We really let the Wrath of the Lich King cinematic inform a lot of our design choices when we were making this costume.
We poured through that cinematic frame by frame, pulling as many details as we could.
While we utilised a lot of modern tech, we also really love traditional hand fabrication, so I set about sculpting a bunch of the armour by hand. I find the tactility of hand-sculpted detail really satisfying, and Arthas's armour is covered in the sort of gnarly organic skulls and sinew that are just a joy to sculpt. After I'd finished the sculpts, I made a set of brush-on jacket molds. I brushed on layers of soft silicone and followed this with a hard jacket. The jacket is so that the mold retains its shape when you're casting parts. Once I'd finished the shell of our molds, I cast parts using real metal powder. This is called cold casting. I also used a slightly flexible resin, making the leg armour much more comfortable to wear over longer periods of time.
I love starting with a game asset, and then building from there. You can kind of cheat and get a lot of the proportion for free, because that is how it looks. It's important to mention that you can 3D print armor, but it doesn't come out ready to wear. There is weeks of sanding that has to happen between these 2 points. For the larger pieces, we used pretty traditional FDM printers. What they lack in extremely fine detail, they make up for in volume. This is where the bulk of our sanding attention goes. What I really love is when we get to use our resin printers. They're much smaller, but capable of producing extremely detailed parts. I adore this, as it lets me sculpt away to my heart's content, and know all the little tiny scratches and dings won't just get sanded away to nothing later on.
I love painting props and armor. It's my favorite part of the making process. So having an entire suit of armor to sit there and meticulously spray chrome, that's my jam.
There's an element of storytelling in the paint process, and it's where a costume really comes to life. There's also a lot of skill in making sure a paint job has overall cohesion across so many different parts of armor.
We drew so heavily on the original Wrath cinematic to find all the tiny buckles and filigree. Those are important, but when you look at a build like this, it's easy to assume it's all armor. There's a multitude of invisible foundational elements, and a surprising majority of our time is spent on parts you'll never see. Fixtures, buckles, bolts, that all make it wearable. It's easy to make armor, it's making it work in reality that the real challenge lies. Wrath of the Lich King might be my favorite expansion, so I'm very excited for this.